Well, going back to your book subject, and it is kind of Confederate War related, and that is we don't hear a lot about suicides in the Civil War. There must be something. Have you come across anything along those lines?
Actually, there is a story that took place just below Culp's Hill. The Union and the Confederates were going at it, and this one soldier got caught, kind of like what they call no man's land. And he knew he was mortally wounded, so the Union was. They had to. What is that noise? You guys hear that?
Yeah, is that Jeff?
I'm just sitting here.
Oh, okay. I knew he was back on. It's just a bunch of bloop bloop. So I don't know.
Okay, just making sure that wasn't me or.
No, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Union were closing in on him to take him prisoner, and he picked up his rifle, and they were screaming at him, "Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!" And he shot himself.
Ew.
You hear stories like that. I guess he'd rather,
Well, if he knew he was mortally wounded, he probably had to be in pain.
And I'm sure that happened quite a bit.
Yeah. Huh. Wow.
So I was trying to look up the Battle of Fairfield. I thought you said, was it also the Battle of Fair Oaks?
No, that was
or
different.
Battle
No,
of Seven Pines.
It would have been Fairfield, PA. There's only like 2 markers to it.
Oh, Google is being
out
confused.
there. Yeah, if you blink, you'll miss it. And Henry, that's where the Fairfield Inn comes in because all the Confederate, officers stayed there.
Right. Which we did an investigation there, and it's pretty interesting. So,
as well as Cashtown, it's actually where the battle took place is right in the middle of the Fairfield Inn and the Cashtown Inn.
Right. Cashtown Inn was pretty interesting too, so we went over there. I know.
But Barbara, to answer your question, the book takes place in modern day.
In modern day.
Oh yeah, I was just interested in the fact that you brought that up, and we were talking about the Civil War.
Oh,
and
okay,
it seems to me that we just, we don't hear a lot about that side of the Civil War where things were just that bad.
I'd be willing to bet if you just, spend some time on Google, you'll find some because the soldiers wrote everything down back then. I'm willing to bet you'd find more stories like that.
So
that's true. We forget that the literacy rate was very, very high. So it's not like they weren't writing, and very prolifically too. If you listen to Kevin Burns's history of the Civil War, some of the letters going back were quite articulate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I like seeing some of these letters over in the museums. It's and the Jenny Wade House for that matter. It's really neat to see their writing.
Yeah, Ken Burns, his documentaries, he usually does a really good job on those. So,
yeah.
He did one about rock and roll music or country, music anyway. And I thought that was real interesting. The baseball, I really liked that one. He brought a lot of stuff out that I didn't know about, hadn't heard about, so real interesting. I always liked his. Now, looks like somebody else dropped off again, probably Jeff.
What? No, I'm still here. Do you hear me?
Huh, yeah. Barbara, are you still here?
Yeah, it's when you send a message.
Oh, is that what it is?
like he comes on. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's my bad. Yeah,
ah,
I was responding to Jeff.
Oh, there you go.
Now.
I'm so unfamiliar with Skype now.
When do you start having to use Zoom?
Oh, no.
That's a program that my writers group is using to do our weekly meetings online, which is so far very awkward, and I don't know how it's going to work with the script table read nights, which should be this coming Wednesday, and I have a bad feeling one of my scripts is in the queue. I'll know tomorrow on Monday for sure.
Now,
I just had Zoom and I deleted it because they said that's malware and people are hacking into like meetings.
Yeah, there's
and
ways
stuff.
around that. There's ways around that. But the cool thing about Zoom is you can add your own background.
Yes.
So I added the
okay.
Twin Peaks Red Room.
huh.
Oh, nice. I don't have a
It's-
green screen. I still need to get a good light to light me up. But there's one guy online who created a video background. So it looks like he's just in a room. And while he's speaking, the door behind him opens and he himself starts walking in and they're like, oh, and backs out like, oh, I didn't mean to interrupt your meeting kind of a thing.
Yeah, you guys got to tell me that little shortcut because yeah, I'd like to put both of my kids on and stuff. But when I heard that, I'm like, hey, I don't know if I
Yeah,
want that.
Zoom bombing, they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But-
That's new. That's
Yeah. There's some woman who turned herself into a potato. And so
Nice.
she couldn't figure out how to get around that. So the entire meeting, she was a potato.
Was she on a couch?
There you go. Nope.
So she
Chair.
wasn't a couch potato then.
No, she wasn't a couch potato. It's fun.
All right, let's look at how about the South? You don't hear a lot about places in the South being, and I don't mean
What?
like Alabama. No, I'm not talking about Alabama and Georgia, and I'm talking if you go down past Georgia into Florida. Do you hear a lot of different places down there other than St. Augustine?
Well, there all the crazy people are alive.
Oh, really? I don't know.
You know, Florida person, Florida man, Florida woman. That's sort of when the headline starts with that, you know, oh, this is going to get weird.
Oh. Well, Craig, instead of investigating like for ghosts, have you investigated other anomalies that's taken place? UFOs? Have you been out with them?
Was it 4 or 5 years ago? There was a lot of sightings around here, between here and Harrisburg, York, and I was guilty. I was out looking, and we did see something, and I actually took a picture of it, and they used it on the news. Yeah, we couldn't explain it, but when they go out and hunt for the Bigfoot, that I'd like to try that just once, just as long as I don't have to camp out. I am not camping I'm not sleeping in a tent now. That ain't happening.
No, not if you're looking for something. I'm not staying out there all night.
Well, here's the thing. Ever since I was a kid, all the way up until I served in the Army, every time, and I'm not making this up, I am not kidding you, every time somebody said, hey, let's camp, it would pour rain, and I got soaked.
Oh.
And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm never doing this again. But I would love to go out and do a Bigfoot. Supposedly there's been sightings right down here in Caledonia Park. That's
Pennsylvania is lousy with Bigfoot. I had a weird experience near Eaglesmere when I was a kid. I don't know if it was Bigfoot, but it was something unexplained.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, you were about an hour from where I grew up. Eaglesmere, they used to have the toboggan slide, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember taking that as kids.
yeah, they had it
Did
right
they
there in
still
the
have
lake.
that gigantic hotel at Eaglesmere?
I don't know about. I haven't been over there in probably 20 years.
Because that was back before the stock market crashed in the 70s, and my dad actually, I think, bought shares into that. It was going to be this big winter resort. We actually had a cabin up in near Eagles Mirror that we would spend weekends, both in the summer and the winter. And it was really great because our first dog knew that it was the one place he was allowed out without a leash, and because he was generally a runner. Um, he'd get out, and it would take a while before he decided to come back in on his terms. But in Pennsylvania, once he realized, oh, we're going there, he was perfectly fine. He would come and go, and he was absolutely fine, you know. But one time we were there, we were unpacking the car, and Snooper's going up and down the driveway, and we're nowhere near a main road or anything, so he was fine. And he was just sniffing, marking the territory, like, I'm back here, just so everybody knows. And completely unintentionally, to his and our surprise, he flushed a fawn. And the fawn takes off. And Snooper, who was half eagle, decided, oh, well, this I got to chase. And he took off baying like the hounds after Frankenstein's monster. And we just heard him getting quieter and quieter, like, well, at least he has his tags on. You know, if he gets, you know, he'll be found and will be called. And he came back about 8 or 9 hours later, utterly exhausted. His paws were pink from running, and he just slept the whole weekend. He's like, I'm done.
Huh. Wow.
But yeah, I missed that cabin. This was not just a dinky thing. This was like one of those well-built cabins, and it was built to house lots of guests so that people would rent it. And then we barely got any snow for years. So my dad lost a lot of money on that.
Wow. Well, Barbara, out there in California, there is a lot of sightings of Bigfoot up to the north, right?
Way north.
Way, way north of me. Mount Shasta's up in the north part of the state, near Redding.
Yeah.
I still want to go to Mount Shasta because then you got the UFO base up there or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody thinks it's Shasta, you know, the UFO base behind that, but the caves around Shasta are amazing.
I didn't know there were caves up there.
Yeah. Isn't there supposed to be some type of entities that lives in those caves?
Lemurians?
Probably.
Yeah. I think that's what they're called.
The aliens, the Lemurians, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. So, Craig, you want to go to California?
But not around here.
I've been dying to go to California.
My
aunt lives in Palm Springs.
Oh, nice. That's kind of far away. Kind of bit of a trek for me. I mean, it's technically local. It's more local than like San Francisco, but you know, still, I can't get to there.
Palm Springs is way to the south, right, Jeff?
I think it's northeast
Oh, is it? Oh.
to California. I mean, not to California. I mean to Los Angeles.
Wow. Yeah, there's a
Well,
lot
northeast of San Diego, right?
Is it? I thought it was almost beyond Lancaster or something.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
And that's north. And I've been to Lancaster. I know that's northeast.
Yeah, I'd love to see LA. San Diego's another one. Hermosa
You want to
Beach.
come down to the? Well, you can stay on the Queen Mary. It's a hotel.
Is that near Hermosa Beach?
Yes and no. I mean, it's closer to Hermosa Beach than it is to Los Angeles. Hermosa Beach it's along the beach. I guess if you walk far enough. But yeah, I mean, I've had experiences on the Queen Mary by staying over. In my cabin, I had stuff happening, so that was cool.
So they let people stay on there even though there's not a.
It's a hotel.
Okay. I just thought they had like paranormal events there.